let's just go ahead and get into this. So, what's the first subject that we're going to talk about? I say we talk about the aspects that actually make this game very unique. And to me, that's the feature of the gunsmith, actually being able to see all of your you know, your things very laid out. You know, it's a very nice menu.
Right. It's actually the one thing that's actually nice is, I mean, you can see different. No, you can't. Wasn't that Black Ops 1 that you could see your stuff, or no?
In every COD game, you've had your attachment list. This is actually the first game that is in the main series, at least, that has the this gunsmith feature that's so unique to it, and it's honestly really nice.
I thought it was something different.
No. Also, something. I mean, the health is a little iffy, but at least it didn't make the same mistake that Black Ops 4 did, and literally add a super amount of health. Black Ops 4, the guns in the game were good, but the 200 health aspect, I'm guessing that was just an experiment from the game devs. Alright guys, just letting you know, don't say much about the game here. Just keep to the subjects, okay? Even if you're raging or anything. No, I'm saying, like, while we're playing, like, don't be, like, push the hard point or anything like that. Let's just keep to our subjects.
Domination.
Well, I really like the, that is something that Black Ops 4 did do well, was its, you know, its hardcore mode was very nice. And, one of the issues I have with this game is the hit reg with sniper rifles. Now, hit reg with other weapons is pretty nice. I'm sorry about that, I'm sick right now. But, the hit reg with the other rifles, such as your shotgun, assault rifles, LMGs, everything's smooth there. It's just the, you know, the sniper hit registration that's not, you know?
Enemy holds all objectives.
Yeah.
We're taking Charlie.
And, I think something that's really neat with this game that's very, very, unique to this game, something that, is sort of reminiscent to, popular games like Rainbow Six Siege, things like that. This game actually implemented the technique of mounting, and that was really, really unique in this game. You know, you had to have a bipod to mount to anything before, and it wasn't really mounting, it was just kind of setting up. Now, one other Call of Duty game that did kind of do something similar to this was, it's a really old game. It was the game that came out right before the first Black Ops. And that game was actually Call of Duty World at War. And that was that if you did equip a bipod, you could set up and mount onto things, you know?
A bite.
But I definitely think that they did a lot of things right with this game, and, you know, in this game, taking out power streaks in the air isn't as hard as it would be in some of the other popular Call of Duties, you know? And I like that they're using a game that they really, you know, did well with before in the series, such as Modern Warfare. Because Modern Warfare, I don't care what anybody says, is one of the best things ever. You know, it was the fourth made in the series, and it's been played countless times by people, you know?
It was always a good game. I mean, they made a remaster of it, which made it look. They made a remaster of it. They made a remaster of it, which made it look beautiful with some of the new graphics that we have today. But I mean, the one thing I just don't really care. The one thing I just don't really care about is like, I mean, the series is slowly going away. I mean, as much as I love Call of Duty and how it is, it's going away.
Yeah. Some of the, they hit a really rough streak with Infinite Warfare and Advanced Warfare, and once they started moving to the modern era of the game, that's where things really hit like a low point. I feel with the addition of exosuits, they went way too far with them. I just don't think that those kind of capabilities should be added into the game. That's just my personal opinion. And there's the map sizes were an issue. The map sizes were a major issue in Black Ops 3. There wasn't any sort of medium-sized map. Either you were so close quarters that every time you turned a corner you had a guy playing a shotgun, or, you know, they were just so long range that everybody was picking you off with snipers. And that was just sort of an issue for me. Because, honestly, for a game to be successful, yeah. Now, Black Ops 2 did things right. Black Ops 2 is a very solid game, you know? But if this game continues to put out good updates, this might actually surpass what's, you know, renowned as one of the best Call of Duties ever created. And getting on to the better Call of Duty series, I want to talk about a very underrated game. Let's talk about Ghosts. It really was. Now, the only downside to me was the ending to the story. I'm not gonna say it if you haven't seen it yet, but most people probably have. The ending was, I don't think that people were ready for like the Odin type thing, but they requested the futuristic, and you know, game devs just got creative with it, and it actually turned out really well. The sniping in that game was so beautiful, and there were some maps that were just out of this world, you know? You know, haters have to admit it, you know, whether they want to or not, but it was one of the games that was kind of ahead of its time.
It's a scare. It's
yeah, and one of the games that when it first came out was decent. I never really caught on to it. It wasn't my personal opinion. I really don't like Advanced Warfare. Advanced Warfare just wasn't a respectable Call of Duty to me.
I never.
I mean, the storyline was there, but the multiplayer just wasn't. And I don't like the fact you had to pay to play zombies.
That was.
But yeah, another thing that that Ghost did uniquely was it had Outbreak instead of yeah, like zombies. Yeah, and it made sense, you know, like mutations because of Odin, you know, like it's actually something that can be followed. Now, probably one of the, probably, you know, not too many people know about Call of Duty World at War, but in my opinion, that had probably the best zombies that have ever been made, you know? They were actually the first Call of Duties to feature a zombies game mode. And there was only one map, but they did it so well. Everything that they did was on point. And that game is still a classic. It's a really good game. There's countless people that play it. But there's a lot of people that play it for the wrong reasons. And it's because the firewalls are so weak that everybody can hack that game. And it's honestly a shame. It's unplayable at this point because the multiplayer lobbies are just so jacked up. Mob menus, you know? It pioneered the zombie games. It really paved the way for these great zombies we have now. Trooper, is there anything that you'd like to add?
It won't be exactly to the Call of Duty world per se, but one of the games that I always personally enjoyed when I was actually, you know, just enjoying my own time was a game called Operation Flashpoint. Now, most people should know this, maybe not, but if they don't, I'll explain.
I personally have never heard of it.
Yeah. Well, Operation Flashpoint was supposed to be an equivalent to Arma 3. You know how that game is, right?
Don't believe I do.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sounds pretty nice.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the thing is that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, let's get realistic here. The game is absolutely massive. Sorry for the cursing, but the game is massive. All right. I think it would be. I think it's like. I don't know. It's huge. There's no. And plus, there's so many things going on at once. There's no way.
Yeah, this is kind of embarrassing.
Yeah, the game is the game.
But, let's, you know, aside from Call of Duty, there's a lot of underrated war games. A very good one that not a lot of people talk about is War Thunder.
Oh yeah, War Thunder.
It's got very, very good, you know, flight factors to it. And some people, it's one of those games, you either love it or you hate it. Either you can get on board with it and understand it, or it's too complex and you just don't want to do it, you know? And I'm personally one of those that fall in line with the group of people that love it.
Alright, so I searched it up on Google and it said it might be bigger than you ever imagined. The Arma 3 is a game with a vast landscape. The Atlas launch map is 270 square kilometers. So and from what I've seen from like the Soviet Womble, you guys should go watch him. In playing the games, it is a really, really great game. Great military shooter and all that. I always wanted to play it, but I never got a PC. So, yeah. By the way, let's do ground war.
1 second.
But going on from the Operation Flashpoint, that game basically was suffocated. It suffocated itself, I would say. I said this before, I believe.
Yeah, you were talking to me privately about this. I did remember you saying this.
Because the game developers, not every game isn't perfect. I mean, let's see, what game wasn't perfect but yet someone helped fix it? What was one game that was?
I can't play Ground Wars, by the way, because it lags and it'll shut my stream down.
Alright.
Let's go on a private match between the three of us.
I can do that.
Let's go with snipers.
You got it. But the game, I don't know. I just hated it for that one reason. Because like I said, no game is perfect by itself.
But the way that it suffocated itself was, they didn't allow mods. They shut off any access to mods.
There was a game, Operation Flashpoint Dragon Rising. It was a game that, it was, like I said, was supposed to be the equivalent to ARM 3, if not a little bit better. But that ain't gonna happen. I actually have the game. I actually have the game right now. There was two games. There was a one and a sequel to it. I have both. I have the main and the sequel. I have the sequel in my in one of the PlayStation 3s I have right now.
I cannot remember the name of the game, but it's it's this weird kind of horror game. You might be able to find it on Jacksepticeye's channel. And something that was really weird to this game was it was this I think it was called Zero Players Online, and it was this old kind of like techno CS:GO type game, you know, capture the flag, but there was nobody there. And when you join the server, eventually you'd hear this music playing, and you'd go and, you know, you'd get weirded out by the music, and when you would shut it off, you'd find this black figure following you. And this black figure was controlled by the game dev. And what you end up finding out is the game dev is texting you, and he tells you that what you're doing is he's found a way. His wife died, and he found a way through the technology of the game to bring his wife back to life. She's living in the game, and that music helped calm her down. But when you break it, she gets frustrated. And once you end up, you know, sending the last flag off, he's telling you to just shut down the game and let his wife live. But once you end up sending the last flag through, it shuts down the servers, and when you relaunch the game, it doesn't give you a server option to join. Everything is offline.
Alright, that was a lot of information to take in, but yeah, and a lot of, like, WTF.
It's not much of a horror game in my opinion. It's a kind of a creep, kind of what are you gonna do in this situation? Yeah, more of a thriller.
I mean, so yeah, that just okay.
And that was kind of a new sort of concept that I really like. And I wish more games would do sort of things like that. Like the shutdown within the game was a really nice feature that added a very creepy-esque to the game, you know.
I mean, there's this one game I personally alright, hold on. Let me just give out that real quick warning. To all people that have suicidal thoughts and are going through depression, there is another way. There is always another way. You don't have to kill yourself. With that warning out of the way, I can actually explain. So there's this game called... Yes. Yeah, I have a sniper scope on it. I have a sniper scope on it.
Yeah, that's cool. No, I'm sorry for following
but it was called The Static Speaks My Name. I bet some people have watched, like, Jacksepticeye and Markiplier play it. And, they should know by that. Basically, it was a game that showed through the eyes of one person named, I believe, by the name of... It starts with like an E or something. Do you know the name? I believe so, but Wait, no. I'm not sure. I haven't seen
give me a minute, guys.
Jack's
I'll be back. Just don't shoot me. I'll be in the middle of the map. I'll be back. I actually have to go do something.
face. How are you not dead? But it showed through the eyes of one person that was suicidal. His girlfriend, I believe that's how the story went, broke up with him, and now he wanted to kill himself. So he grabbed a noose and hung himself. I can't speak. Help me. By hanging. Thank you very much. Shindu. And there was multiple options. If they were gonna update the game, they're gonna have many options to do so. Like one was like a 16-year-old girl that did self-immolation. I believe that's how you say it. Correct me if I'm wrong. And yeah. But they didn't update and didn't have all those options ready on the start. They only had they only had that one by the news. Now, I personally thought it was like, why? Because I personally think that game would like encourage maybe suicidal people to die, but I don't know. It wasn't even the fact that it was like good. It was just like, what, WCF? But again, games are games. Or like another one. Crap. There is no other one. I guess we'll just go back to the Operation Flashpoints. But the game suffocated itself because, like I said, no game is perfect, like before. So the game was a bit wonky on itself and crap. You can call in airstrikes. You can call in you can call in a lot of things. You can drive helicopters if you wanted. Controls were a bit weird at first, but if you got used to them, you could do some damage with that gun of yours. The best helicopter for a lot of the situations that you would encounter in the game was the AH-16 Little Bird, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, but the Little Bird was made by Sikorsky in real life anyway, and the military modded it to have the M134, I believe it's the name. I might be wrong. Miniguns. They fired the 7.62 by 39 rounds, I believe, or yeah, the standard NATO rounds. And they also mounted rocket pods on there too. And in basically Operation Flashpoint, just yeeted that aspect into Operation Flashpoint. They took a lot of things from the real world and tossed it in there. Like 2 shots could end your life easily. Or a better one yet, if you got hit in the arm, you would be completely you'd be immobilized. I kind of called that a little bit BS, but like I said, no game is perfect. So, but there was no modding for the game. Like Shindu has explained before, they blocked off access, any access to modding within the game. Because I don't know what they were thinking in their minds, but whatever it wasn't really anything good, man. And then then it started slowly just fading away, and then it became a thing of the past.
returned.
I saw that.
No, I didn't.
I saw that.
I had my controller down the whole time. What do you mean? What? I still have 16.
Yeah,
Look at
he had.
scoreboard. Dummy. Ouch.
Goodbye.
Alright, let's get back to the podcast.
Back to what I was saying. The game devs done. I don't know what they were thinking. They're probably thinking they could do better instead of just fall into the mods to help their game. But I personally say that the mods would have been probably the greatest idea for them. I mean, look at Arma 3. That's one of the other games. It was, you know, it had great graphics. It had great things. It had great guns. I think most of them took it out of the real world with some of their own. But the modding also introduced some futuristic guns. Like there was a tank called the Varstrik, I believe that's the name. I don't know if I'm wrong. If you know, but I believe that's what it was. But they also had the M1 Abrams as usual in the game. They had a Super Cobra in the game, I believe. The H1Z Super Cobra, the Apache, you name it. A bunch of the real world weapons like the Scar 8. I believe there was a revolver, like my 357 I was sniping you guys with. Yeah. I believe that's what they had.
No. Oh yeah, I have seen that actually. Dude, he went ballistic.
That's. Oh, I have a lot of more stuff. I just came up with a little. I didn't exactly come up. I know this. I shot you in the fucking face.
Watch the gussing. I don't know.
Goodbye. Alright, do you have the throwing knife? If you have it... Well, yeah, that's what you're using. Get rid of it. If you throw that throwing knife, you'll go back to swinging your weapon, depending on what you have. If you don't believe me, here, I'll let you get a free kill off of me. I'm on one of the, I'm on one side of the map.
Alright guys, well, this game does have a lot of good features to it, and some of the sniper hit reg is a little questionable, but they're at least, I mean, they're strong rifles, you know? A lot of your kills are one-shots, which is where they messed up with some of the snipers in the more recent games, you know? Yeah. Yeah, which I don't know why they haven't added the 50 BMGs recently. Modern Warfare did a lot of things right, you know. Sledgehammer finally got back into making Call of Duties. Yeah, because I mean, Yeah, Activision really messed up some things. Don't even get me started on Treyarch. Treyarch is into the futuristic type stuff, you know, and that really just messes it up sometimes. They did go right with Black Ops 1, though. Black Ops 1 was definitely a good game.
Objective complete. Very good.
By 1 kill. Well, you know, I think Sledgehammer is probably the best.
More logical.
Call of Duty makers, you know, they're very logical about their games. So. Very reinforced gameplay, you know?
Yeah.
Like your hits actually count. Sure, we can do another one. I mean, it's mainly supposed to be just background noise over our podcast, so.
Yeah,
Kind of glad we started this whole podcast because it's good to just kind of conversate about these things.
I mean, we could talk. Next thing we'll probably be talking about his life or something like that.
I mean,
always
do
did
you guys? Yeah. So did you guys hear about what Mike Tyson's doing? So he took this this drug called Toad a little earlier on in his life, and it's composed of DMT, you know, the chemical composition of DMT, but it has an oxygen molecule attached to it, and it's 5 of these DMTs, and what it'll actually do is it's an ego changer. It kills your ego, and it's really hard to explain the visuals. There's really no way for you to grasp it, but it changes your ego so that basically what it is you understand better what you want. It's not meant to be taken many times. One time changes your whole life. And he took this, and he's gotten to the point that he doesn't like fighting anymore, you know? World champion boxer, and he hates fighting now. He doesn't see a point in it. So, what he's actually done now is, ever since the age of 10 or 11, he's been smoking weed. And now, it should be operational around, I think, 2022. He's building a resort, but it's also a weed farm. So Mike Tyson will be growing his own weed. Isn't that crazy?
I mean, weed's gonna be marijuana, as they should really say. It's gonna be legal.
I mean, people have the stereotype that it makes you lazy. Therefore, people in like the House of Representatives and state governments aren't going to really want to legalize it as much. But it has its medical purposes. And actually, one thing that they're actually trying to get legalized more now is psychedelics. Because believe it or not, they've done studies on rats and stuff. I've learned this from the Joe Rogan podcast. That's definitely one that I suggest you check out. But they've studied, you know, rats and stuff. And rats actually produce DMT in their bloodstream.
Dang.
So, it's not something that's exactly bad. People think, you know, take mushrooms, you're gonna tear all your clothes off, run down the street screaming and stuff. Or just jump on tables, attack people, do something stupid. It's just something that messes with your mind. You have more visions. It's something that helps you get right with yourself, you know who you are. And that's what, you know, the American Indians would do, you know? Native Americans would use these, you know, the healers. And they considered it a holy thing. And honestly, it helped their culture a lot. So there's actually a few states trying to legalize psychedelics.
You just explained.
So, it's pretty cool, isn't it?
One thing. I mean, I mean, the one thing that I don't really think care if they legalize it. I mean, don't. I mean, weed is weed. It's whatever. But thing is, you won't get the good stuff. Now, I'm no weed guy.
Yeah, that is another good feature about this game.
Doesn't customize your weapon, so.
Yeah, I was gonna point that out earlier. That's something that's kind of like Rainbow Six Siege.
No, I mean, let's
but
see.
With the way that Rainbow Six Siege is, you can only customize it like in your operator menu. You can't actually do it while you're fighting, you know? Yeah. I
mean, let's see. I can put a monolithic suppressor, breach a device, muzzle brake, might as well. But now, if I die by one of you guys, I can respawn with that loader.
Yeah. Now, there is something that I do have a problem with, and that's the, all the grenades that get thrown in this game, you know? People are very versatile with their grenades in this game. And it does create a lot of issues, especially the Semtex grenade. That's the most commonly used. C4 is always something that's had a problem in the Modern Warfare series, just because it is so powerful. But at least the explosive range is a lot more realistic. Black Ops 3 went really, really wrong with their explosive range, and Black Ops 3, they were way out of proportion, man. You'd shoot somebody, hit them right by their feet with a shot from an RPG or something like that, and it just wouldn't do anything. You had to like make direct contact. Now, personally, I don't really respect as many people that choose to run around with the RPG, but I more am on the side of people that use it in a tactical way, you know? To shut down enemy aircrafts, things of that sort, clear out a room, those sort of uses. Yeah, the Joker is a bit odd. I mean, it's very new to the Call of Duty scene. Oh, did they? Well, I mean, it's something that we haven't seen for, you know, a good while. I'm saying yeah, this is like the, this is only, the second game they've put it in? And something cool about this one is its campaign for this one. It's kind of a bit confusing. It's a little iffy, but at the same time, it's so good. If you can understand, you know, the things, if you really sit there and think about it, it's very realistic. I'm not gonna go into depth with it, but it's just an all-round great story mode. And the ending is actually worth all of the thinking, you know.
The story would really go into like the more previous games, because I believe that the story for this one is goes. Hold on, if I'm correct, this was like a prequel or something like that from the earlier Modern Warfare games, like the Modern Warfare 2. I think it went
not exactly, no. Yeah. And you see, with the birth of you know, Modern Warfare, that really kind of paved the path for these games that are coming out now, and it's really, really nice to see. I just got a comment. I can't check it currently. Let's see here. Broadcast. Yes,
we
are on Modern Warfare. We're doing a podcast right now. It's Lucas. But you know, this game is a really unique game in the COD series that is doing really well, actually. I don't know if it's gonna pass GTA on the sales. If you actually look, Grand Theft Auto 5 has the world record for most money made on a video game ever. It's brought in more income than any game ever made. And that's something big for Rockstar. And I think that's why, you know, GTA 6 started so late. They wanted to juice out all the hype, and they wanted to get all the publicity they could off of this, you know, the game release. So, smart move by Rockstar, and definitely a good game. But the oppressor is an issue in that game, you know?
Not the oppressor.
The issue did quiet down for a little while with talks about nerfs, but the nerf really didn't do much, you know. They put a little bit of a cooldown on it, but I mean, that doesn't really affect it. What they need to do is affect the missile lock-on. Yeah, I mean, adding a little bit of I mean, at least you can't go, like, full auto with the missiles anymore on it, you know? Which you could do before, and it was just really tough. What is... Lucas, you need to chill on the comments. Yeah, Lucas is on the podcast. So, you know, we're gonna run another one real fast. But what I don't understand is how Rockstar can allow these oppressors to run their game and not do anything about it. Like, I get it, it's drawing in a lot of money from the shark cards, but at the same time, it's ruining their own game because the player base can't make actual money.
All that oppressor was just a griefer tool from the ground up. There was no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
You know, nailed it, described it perfectly. And that is that this oppressor is nothing but a skill cap. Low skill players use it because they can't capitalize on, you know, real plays in the game. And they need to honestly add a real counter. The only counter that's come forward so far is the jetpack, and it's not really effective, you know?
You can dodge its missiles pretty easily. It has flares, but the missile on it ain't nearly as good as like the one on the oppressor. Or would be better, would be a better count, or better. You know, would be actually a counter is that if all the missiles like the oppressor, where you gave all the oppressor missiles to all the other aircraft in the game.
Yeah. See, or it'd be better if you just upped the laser lock on and made the laser, you know, the real Mac Daddy of the game again. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. What is happening right now with my stream?
The game is...
There we go.
as much as I can't cuss. But all it is, it was a place for griefers. That's all it was, though.
They actually promote it.
Exactly.
They promote griefing. Yeah, like, the family, which is a group that we ran with for a very long time, was a, you know, well-established anti-griefing group, you know? Like, there needs to be something in place to get rid of them, and it's just hard to cover all that ground with only a few people. Yeah, and any kind of power, that there needs to be monitors on the people, because I think there should be at least one admin on every server, or they should bring like the count up. I know it would lag, but they'd have to have stronger servers. Lower the server count, but put like 100 people in a single server. That way, the admin could, you know, watch multiple, you know, servers worth of people at the same time, and it would just help so much with the banning.
The one thing I don't understand is, like, how are we gonna be able to always do that? I mean, there's a limited amount of devs that made the game.
Someone using the Dragunov?
I'm just having fun with it.
Oh, okay. I'm still using my AX50. Ouch. My face ate a bullet, and it didn't feel good.
Good job. What about... There's something about life. Oh, I can't...
I've started using the Dragunov now. I'm going to go and eat soon, so you guys can just carry on the podcast talking about games and things.
Alright. If you come back, if you do come back in time, I will...
Alright guys, so just have fun with this. I'll be back. You guys can go play. Leave my squad if you want. But I'll currently it's gonna take me a minute, but I'll be back. I'm gonna see if I can convince my dad to let me eat in my room. But I'll be back.
Maybe like I'm not sure, like 30 minutes ago. Suicide for the reason. Like I said to other people, if you are having just suicidal thoughts, do not do it, because it's not worth it. The reason why is because if you try to take away the pain yourself, if you do it, then you're going to devastate your entire family. You devastate your entire family, then they're probably going to do the same exact thing, because you did it. It's going to be like a, yeah, exactly.
Okay, I have actually I'm back now. It'll be probably about another 20 minutes before dinner's actually ready. But once that does roll around, I'm gonna go ahead and just shut the podcast off. But I think this has actually been a really good first experience with the podcast. So, you guys want to do another one later tonight?
Maybe. I mean, I was talking about the topic of suicide, so just to keep you all caught up. So, crap. I forgot where I was.
Guys, guess what?
I could go full auto with. Oh god. They just went full.
Let's just do one like this where we're all just full auto.
Let's... Oh wow, recoil.
So what's your guys' opinion on the LMGs in this game? I think they've came through with some really good LMGs in this game. They're not too overpowered. I don't care what anybody says. Like, they're counterable. Just, all you have to do is be able to get in close range. Plus, their reload time is really balanced, you know? I honestly agree that, you know, they're good weapons. That's just where I side. My favorite gun in the game actually is the M91.
I mean the M91 is a good gun by good standards. I mean right now you're using, I think that's the MG42, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I like the fire rate on the MG42. Or it's actually the MG34, by the way.
The MG42 was actually nicknamed from who had a nickname from World War II by the Allied soldiers. I completely forgot what it was. Hitler's buzzsaw. That's what it was, because of the insane fire rate it had.
It was just such a shredding weapon.
I mean, I never liked the. I personally never liked the LMGs in any of the COD games. I thought it was just a sucky move that you have to use a full auto, 100 round box magazine gun just to lay somebody down that could be killed with 1 or 2 shots.
See, but I'm usually not the person that sprays all of their ammo out at like Mach 1, you know? I'm not usually that person. Like, if we're being totally honest, I usually bunker down, and I usually, you know, single tap with my M90, or yeah, my M91, and that's how I get my long shot kills, you know? You don't need crazy amounts of rounds, it's just better to have them so you don't, you know, run out as quickly. And that's just my personal opinion on them.
Nope. I mean, like right there, I was using a lot of rounds just to try to put you down. You know, my bullets were stopping in the trees, and yet yours were going straight through.
Like, watch, if it shows this part, when I'm firing at you when you're up on the hill, see, I'm just using a very few amount of rounds, like 3 or 4, and then once you get close, I use the spray down tactic.
I try to aim down sights just so I can get some accuracy and I can actually hit you. Because I don't really care about the spray and pray tactic.
I use the LMGs are probably, in my opinion, the easiest to get gold with because they're versatile and good at any range. In fact, on my M91 in multiplayer, I have a sniper scope with 8 times zoom on it. And if somebody gets too close, I hip fire. If they're at any other range, I have perfect sight on them, you know? It's just an all-around good weapon. I'm going to change my class out. Do you have any idea where Shindo is going?
He's here.
I can't hear him.
Shindo, leave and join. Customize.
Okay,
Alright. So, I'm customized up again.
Alright, hold on. Let me invite him back into the party. No, I have to suggest him. I'm gonna go ahead and turn the broadcast off. I think it's time to shut down for now. We'll do one here later.